This is Zach, and today I'm going to make a quick video on the new Apple event. I guess I wouldn't say it was new. A lot of people knew about it and the speculation about it. Apple did confirm the event date. There was kind of a little mishap that people thought it was going to be earlier, people thought it was going to be later. So I don't know what's going on with that, but this is the actual date of it. So I'm going to go over a few rumors with you guys about what's coming out and some changes. This might not be all of them. Some of these facts may be true. Some of them might be false. But a lot of the rumors that we read about when it comes close to these date times are pretty much, for the most part, accurate, I would say. A lot of the past events that we heard rumors about ended up being true. So let's take this with a grain of salt, but I think most of it should be accurate. So the iPhone 5 SE, my takes and opinions on it. I would say that the name is kind of weird. If I don't know if SE means small edition, but the 5 in front of it kind of seems awkward to me. The reason why is apparently this phone's going to be about the same size as the iPhone 5. So 5 SE, if it's going to be the same size as the iPhone 5, why are we calling it the 5 SE? If the SE presumably means small edition, that would basically come to my mind as being a smaller iPhone 5. I would think if SE meant small edition, they should have made it like the iPhone 6 SE because it would be smaller than the iPhone 6, thus meaning it'd be around the iPhone 5 size. This comes to my mind as being, ooh, the iPhone 5, just smaller, which that's really small. And like, what happens when the iPhone 7 comes out in 6 months from now? Oh, yeah, I got the iPhone 7. What do you got? No, I got the iPhone 5 SE. They're both about the same. They're both relatively new. So it's just going to sound weird. Like, I have the 7, you have the 5. It just sounds different. I think that their release date is a little bit late because for what I would think is, they'd release it with the iPhone 6s because if you have the iPhone 5s, most of the people with it are going to be on a 2-year contract. So in 2 years, you get your new phone. So that would mean if you got the iPhone 5 close to the release, or the iPhone 5s close to the release date, you're eligible for the iPhone 6 close to the release date. So most people that had the iPhone 5 probably already moved up to the iPhone 6, and they're probably more or less used to the screen size. And if they did get the iPhone 6s or whatever, after they got the 5s, they got the 6s, they're not going to be able to switch their contract unless they want to pay full price for this phone, and I don't think they're going to do that. So I think the market's going to be small on it. But some of the rumors about it is it's going to have a 4-inch screen. Too small for me. When I had the iPhone 5s, I got the new iPhone 6. I mean, because I broke my 5s, so I had to get a different one. I used someone else's upgrade in my plan to get the iPhone 6. And that's what I have now. The iPhone 6s come out, but now I'll get the iPhone 7 when it comes out. But anyway, I changed from the 5s to the 6. I knew the screen size was going to be different. I don't actually have the 6. I have the 6 Plus, but I'm like, the screen's going to be bigger. I don't know if I'll like it or not, but I'll try it and I'll get used to it. Because, with Apple, all their products that come out sound crazy, but then once you get to use them, it's a different story. So I'm like, yeah, I'll get the 6 Plus. If I'm gonna go up, if I'm the screen's gonna go up from the 5s to the 6, I might as well just get a bigger one and get the 6 Plus. It's gonna go up anyway, so I might as well just do it all in one. And I like the idea of the bigger screen. Even if I didn't like it, even if I didn't like the idea of the 6 Plus, I would have still had to have gotten the 6, the regular 6. But if you had the iPhone 5 and then you went to the 6, you still have a year to get the new phone. And like I said, most people that have the 6 or 6S are used to the size now. They're not going to just say, oh, yeah, I'm going to trade in my iPhone 6 Plus for an iPhone 5 SE. It just sounds insane. Some people will do it. I'm not doubting it. But for the most part, I don't see sales being up on this phone. It's going to have an A9 chip, apparently, NFC support. And the question mark next to the next one, up to 40 or 64 gigabytes of RAM, or not RAM, storage, I guess you would say. I'm not too sure how much RAM is going to be in it. I'm guessing the same as the 6 or the 6S, but up to 64 gigabytes of storage sounds weird to me also, just because all the new iPhones you could get 128. So a lot of the aspects of this just kind of blow my mind, and I'm wondering what the price is going to be because um, not the jump, but apparently it's not going to have 3D touch either, and the battery is going to be 1600 milliamps. So with the price ordeal, if they're going to be the same price, which hopefully they're not, hopefully this one's cheaper, you're choosing between two phones. You're going to have the iPhone 6s with a nice amount of battery capacity. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I know it's up there and it's good. You're gonna have 3D touch, and you're gonna have the option to get 128 gigabytes, and the screen's bigger. So you have all these variables. It's basically double the phone as this one, so it's kind of weird. Hopefully they charge less for this phone. I won't be getting it, but just in the aspect of it not being as good as the other ones. Hopefully, this is going to be a little bit cheaper. 12 megapixel rear camera, which is great. I like the idea of that. Apparently, it's going to be the same as the 6S. It's not really going to be that much different. 1600 milliamp battery, which is, I think, ridiculous for this day and age. And it's not bad for the phone size that it is, but I couldn't get away with it. I'd have to have a battery backup case. But I use my phone a lot, so this appeals to different people. But for the most of us, that battery size, if we're going from an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus down to this, it's going to be way different. No 3D touch, like I said, that's weird too. I know it's smaller, but the 3D touch is a new thing that came. It's going to be in all the new devices. It's going to be in all of them, so it's kind of weird that they would steer away from that with this. So the new Apple Watch bands. My opinions on this. I think that it's great that Apple's keeping up with the competitors on the bands. The third party ones are always gonna be above and over Apple. It's just like the iPhone cases. There's always going to be third party ones that are better than Apple's. But it's good that they still have their own bands. Okay, so this is a picture of a tweet. Apparently, it says new watch models are coming in March. New sport band, Hermes colors, and black Milanese. New sport bands. I like the you know touch and feel of the sport bands. They're nice. I have the space gray. I think 42 millimeter watch. It's a bigger one. I don't really use it as much as I thought. When the watch first came out, I got it. I got it before it was in stores and all that. But it just wasn't like after a while I got used to it and it was just kind of useless. I've been trying to wear it recently though. I have it out and I wear it to work sometimes, but I don't really use it like it's intended to be used. A lot of people probably do use it like they should, but I don't. I don't know. I don't use it that often. It's kind of cool. I see it a lot more though. I've been seeing it in a lot of places, but like I said, I just don't use all this stuff on it. So apparently new Hermes colors. That's cool. I love Hermes. I like how they, went together with this company. Hermes is a high-end fashion designer. They have great product. I have some of their stuff. They're not really known about as much as some of the other brands, but Hermes definitely rides with Louis Vuitton and Gucci, Chanel even. Hermes is it's top quality. Like I said, I have their cologne. I have some clothing. I love it. And even the Hermes stores. I mean, you walk in their store and it's beautiful. I mean, there's this Hermes store by me. It's basically an old house, and it's just so comfortable inside. They have the fire going, and it's just comfortable feeling. I mean, you could tell that it's definitely different. Their prices are pretty high. I'll be honest. A lot of people probably don't have Hermes, so this is a kind of a cool way to have it, but not spend a ton of money. The Hermes watches are a little bit more, but like I said, you're buying this watch or a shirt that costs the same amount as the watch, so you're basically getting something good for the price. The Black Milanese band, that's pretty cool. I think a lot of third party people already have that, but I definitely would get the Black Milanese band over the other one, so I like how they released that. Okay, so a new smaller iPad Pro. Um, I feel good about that. I feel like that's probably one of the best things out of this event so far that I've heard about because the iPad Pro, I look at it all the time. I see it, often. And I want to say, I like that. I want to get it, but it's just too big for me. I can't say I could never because I said that about the iPhone 6 Plus and I got it, but I just don't see myself with such a big device. I like the size of the iPad Airs, but much bigger, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't see myself getting anything bigger. So having that in a smaller size is great. So a couple things about it and rumors. Apparently a 9.7-inch screen, 12 megapixel rear camera, which is the same one going to be on the iPhone 5 SE. Apparently it's going to have an A9X chip, which is great, and it'll replace the iPad Air 3 name. And I think that's awesome. So apparently the rumor about that is instead of releasing an iPad Air 3 and releasing the iPad Pro small edition, they put it in one, and that's great because you might as well get the iPad Pro. You might as well. So having it both be the same thing, the iPad Air 3 being changed over to the iPad Pro is great. And they're not calling it the Pro SE like they're calling the iPhone 5 SE. It's going to be the iPad Pro. So how to spot the different sizes? It's basically going to be like the Macs. I mean, you say, "Oh yeah, I have a MacBook Pro." That could mean the 13-inch or it could mean the 15-inch, but it's still the MacBook Pro. They're pretty much the same thing. So I think that's how they're going to categorize it, which I don't understand why they don't do that with the phone. If they're doing that with the computer and the new iPad, they might as well just do it with the phone. You go there and you say what size phone you want. They do it with the Apple Watch too. The Apple Watch could mean the Apple Watch 42 millimeter or the smaller one. I don't know if it's 38 or 40 or something like that. I have the larger one though. Um, Honestly, when I seen the watch come out, I thought the screen was going to be actually bigger for the larger edition. But I have no complaints. I don't really use it a whole lot though, like I said. But I I don't know. Some of the stuff that they're doing in this event just doesn't make sense. Like I said, they're changing the name to just the iPad Pro. It's not the Pro SE. So just have that different option when you buy it. What size do you want? Do you want, the 13-inch MacBook Pro or do you want the 15-inch MacBook Pro? The iMacs are the same way too. Do you want this size iMac or you want that size iMac? But they're both pretty much the same machine. So it's kind of cool that they're replacing it and just making it the iPad Air or the iPad Pro. I think that honestly I'll probably get one. I like how they're making it smaller. That appeals to me a lot more than the big one. But apparently this whole entire Apple Watch event is going to be pretty much dedicated to smaller devices, the smaller iPhone and the smaller iPad. And it's also weird that they would release the smaller iPhone on the iPad historical release date. Most of the time, the new iPads are always on around this month, so having the phone be released at the same time is weird. Anyway, that's about it for me. I'll see you guys later, and that was just some of the different information about it. Have a good one.